Well, good evening. I'm Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity. Hypnoacuity is hypnotherapy that quiets the inner landscape. Tonight, we're going to talk about 7 ways why I understand my inner dialogue. And see, everybody tries to, when I began this, I wanted to change my thinking. I thought, oh my God, I'll change my thinking and I'll have it made. But what really happens is uh, you can change your thinking, but that doesn't mean you're going to do anything, because your thinking is a memory and it just keeps you going in the same way. So as I awakened to this and adjust my camera, just life. But anyway, everybody wants to change their thinking. They want to do this and they want to do that. But I finally discovered, and it isn't having positive thinking or a positive inner dialogue. It isn't anything positive, because positive and thinking, they keep you stuck in yesterday. And I've really opened up to that. We think and know our way to yesterday, but we really stay inside the memories and everything, but we stay inside the mini movies. We keep replaying the mini movies in our mind, and then we never move forward. So that's something I really opened up to. It's really about opening up to discover you want to expand your life. It's a inner dialogue. And the thing about the inner dialogue, it isn't here. It starts in your gut or your core or your root chakra, whatever you want to say, and it comes up. But if you're trying to think about it, once it hits here, your memories and your thinking, knowing mind take over. And whatever you do with the thinking, knowing mind, it keeps you binded in yesterday. And it really, really does. And I'm guilty. You got to make fun of this. The more you can laugh, the more you rise. But really, it opens you up to understand everything happens from the core of the gut, the root chakra. Everything rises from there. It's an inner rising revelation. But when we try to do positive thinking, we stay in the same mindset, viewpoints, opinions, beliefs that we've lived all of our lives. So we really stay stuck in the yuck of ourselves and in the socialized suck of life. And that is what I'm really saying, is because to awaken to understand my inner dialogue, my thinking, knowing mind and subconscious mind and frozen in time representations all move in the same direction, whatever that is. But it all keeps me in my comfort zone. But when you rise of your inner dialogue, you're rising with wisdom, insight, clarity, and liberation. But, to understand your life, we've been taught positive thinking, positive thinking, positive thinking is a memory. But you can never rise from where you're at with thinking and knowing, knowledge, and thoughts, and learning. The more I rise of understanding, thinking, knowing, learning, knowledge, and thoughts are like being stranded on a desert island with a boat that the motor don't work. It looks good sitting there, but it isn't going to take you anywhere. And that's what thinking and knowing from yesterday does. Look at the world. We've been stuck in thinking and knowing since the beginning of time, and look where we're at, really. And when people say think, that's their viewpoints, opinions, beliefs. And when they say the word mindset, they go in there. The inner dialogue is coming from the inspiration and the intuition. All that comes from the gut or the root chakra, but from your core. And it comes up here. And so that's why when I use words, I use them from here, because it rises me up. So as I rise to the enterprising me, I surprise me with a spirit prowess. See, you can't think, know, learn, have and listen to spirit, intuition, imagination. Thinking and knowing shut off everything. Shuts it off right here. And that's something I really opened up to understand and realize when I caught myself. This is something I discovered myself. The other morning I was coming home and I was just doing my normal drive, and all of a sudden I was thinking about something. And then I wanted to stop and have breakfast. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. Then I caught it. It come from my comfort zone in my in my in my core area. I said, oh, that's how the habits stay in business. Is worth trying to think about doing it as as my inner self is saying, do it. And there's where the battle is. And usually the core intuition or the core thinking will overcome the conscious thinking. And that happens all the time. That's why I opened up to learn. When I say no, I'm saying no to my core, my gut, and my root chakra, because if I'm saying no up here, it just bestows me into my habits. And see, habits come from the comfort zone and the mind and the mindset. See, we try to think our way out of a habit, but actually all we're doing is staying in the comfort zone of that habit. So it's really about the inner rising of the inner dialogue. And it's an inner rising revelation, not thought. And somebody say thoughts are spirit, that's a lie. Revelations are. Thoughts come from a thinking, knowing mind. Revelations come from in here. You realize everyday life, animating visionary epiphanies to rise. You can listen to the universe, but you can never think and know the universe. You can think and know your way to yesterday, but you can listen to your spirit savvy, but you can never think and know your spirit. And see, this world has been so taught and caught up in think and know that we're really never rise out of anything as it moves. So as I rise to this, I get to hear the inner rising revelations, energize my emancipating spirit, to unleash my sovereign savvy of my trailblazer bravado, to be chauffeured onto my trails of enlightenment. See, that's the thing about all the spirit stuff, you'll never think and know it. Because if you look at the world today, everything in the self-help, personal growth, self-improvement world is inside the corporate and the education system and the corporation cloning and whatever other mindsets. When you listen to when you have a featureless scenery and a subconscious, subconscious scenery and a featureless canvas of the subconscious, you can color and paint it and design it, but you can never imprint it when you have a thinking, knowing mind going on. And we've had a lot of things say this, but what I've really opened up to is it's my inner dialogue that'll do it. And we all are trying to get a positive thoughts, positive speech. Positive is what? I want to have an inspired or an inner rising expression of my inspirations. Which one feels better? Inner rising inspirations or positive thoughts? See, the biggest thing to understand is thoughts come from a thinking, memory, mind, and knowledge. Knowledge is great, but it never gets you out of the book. And if you look, the world is trying to run on the books. And you think something you really want to open up to, you unhook the books, you unhook your self-sabotaging snookery of being in socialized bullshit. And I'm just I'm not trying to do anything. I'm showing you the way I expanded my life. And the more I listen, the more I glisten with genuine, liberating intuition, streaming, trend-setting, energizing nirvana. The more freedom you can flow through your words, the more your words open your fervor energy to expand. But it's the inner dialogue that starts here. And you want to listen to the streaming, savvy, tantalizing, rebellious energy. See, the thing is, docile and really saying, do it through love. How are you holding on to love and stopping you from understanding the manipulation of the world? Love is letting out the venomous energy, lionizing optimism, visualizing epiphanies as you light up internal fervent energy, color the world with your dreams. Because every time you say, I hear somebody say positive thinking, they're stinking in yesterday because all they're doing is falling right back into their comfort zone of limitation and camouflage imitation of life. How is self-help, personal growth, all that stuff in it, basically imitation of one another? And also, when somebody says they have a program, how is that just an imitation of somebody else's program? When you open up to the innovative scholar within you, you're going to tantalize the wise and open up your trailblazer tenacity, and you're going to break the trails of triumph within yourself. See, everything we're trying to do is never in the external world. It's all in here. And so that's why when you listen for the streaming inner dialogue, you listen for what comes from the stomach or the gut or even the Mother Earth. But what is coming here, and if it gets to here, you're going to fall either into a habit or you got it shut down. When you can say no to that flow, that sabotaging dialogue, internal dialogue, and say yes to that enterprising dialogue, you're going to dance internally, appreciating life, opening the galvanized gumption of yourself. And see, love is strong. Love isn't putting your arms around somebody. Love is a lion-hearted optimism, vanguard energy. It's actually probably, if we really understood love, it's probably the most vibrant titanium tenacity there is. But we have allowed love. We think love is being kind and gentle. Kind and gentle is a toughness of a lion-hearted savant. See, we got this all mixed up. Oh, I'll be kind to this person. You treat everybody equal. You never have to be kind to everybody because you're kind to everybody. But if you think, somebody says do it through love and do it through this, and then the next thing they know, they think they're smarter and more arrogant than somebody else. See, that's where the lie of self-help, personal growth, and self-improvement is. I always watch when somebody says this, says that. I watch their actions. 99% of the time, they're being a bovine. They're just mooing their own mockery. The inner dialogue can also, that's the one that takes your viewpoints, opinions, your mindsets, your stubbornness, and hard-headedness and creates the arguments. I was good at that. Man, I'm really good at that. See, we never really argue with the outside world. We argue with ourselves internally. What I really want people to open up to understand, your talents are in here, never out there. This is going to open your talents, but you got to admit to and appreciate the talents that are inside you. And see, that's something we've never been showed. See, they taught us to be sheeple, follow the corporate world's cloning. And if you listen to I've been paying a lot of attention to business coaches and business leaders. They're just clones as corporations. And they really, when you read their stuff, they never understand people are the assets of the world. The more I'm around, I started this, and the more I'm around The highly educated people of the world understand a lot of different things. They're very smart, but they're never wise. And they don't have the they don't have the country boy candor that this country used to have. And another thing, the internet and the computers, we can write a whole bunch of nasty stuff about somebody and never have to go face to face with them. That's where I miss the 60s and the 70s. When you lipped off to somebody, they're probably going to come and see you, and one of you is probably going to have probably a black eye and a bloody nose. But sometimes a black eye and a bloody nose is the best is the best awakening there is, because your arrogance caused it. And see, this world is too egotistically arrogant, stuck in know-it-all ignorance of a third world mindset. And that's why everything is up here. See, AI and computers is all up here. There's none of it down here. Until the world gets back to the innovation of internal ingenuity, the world is going to stay where it's at. But your inner dialogue runs all the time, and people say you got to get a positive one. You can never, ever get a positive inner dialogue, because your outside world is always sending you a representation of something that happened in your life, or you're witnessing it as something that happened in your life. That way is the way we stay stuck in our habits. And everybody says they got out of their habits. I know I haven't. I know I have to listen and expand out of them every day. The thing about life is it's going to show you everything and all your encumbrances. And see, when people say do this, do that, I look at their words and look at their doing. They're talking from a program of toxicity to me. So when I want to liberate myself, I listen for the streaming savvy, trend-setting energy, appreciating me from in here. And the thing about listening, if you're listening to expand, you never get angry. If you're thinking to be in competition, you're angry all the time. That's why this world is so angry. I've witnessed this world for 68 years. And something I noticed in the outside world, they can't have a conversation of innovation. All they can do is point the finger and stay stuck in the he did this, they did this, nobody did anything. And the American people buy it because that's what we've been taught. Since I've been alive, there's zero happened for the blue collar people of this world. Everybody thinks, and see, here's the arrogance of education. They think the blue collar world is minuscule. Well, take all the blue collar people out of the world, and then white collar people will be sitting on the outside looking in, because the physical world and the innovation of the world comes from the blue collar. And I am blue collar. I'm going to stay blue collar. I'm actually really proud to be blue collar, because I ain't stuck in the muck of arrogance. And that's the thing. When your inner dialogue is telling you you're better than somebody, you're actually living in insecurity, immaturity, and in fear. And my favorite one is, you set boundaries. You set boundaries. Boundaries are actually intimidation, insecurity, immaturity, and fear controlling your life. You want to draw a line in the sand, so when the wind of wisdom and liberation come, they blow the line away. Because we're only apprehensive about life. But it's that inner dialogue. And we got to you want to stream that inner dialogue with inspiration and imagination, and innovation, and intuition. You want to make it a flow of your dreams. You want to stream your dreams from in here to the world. And whenever something out here is happening, how's this to expand me, liberate me? Where's the wisdom? You want to get questions that dissolve it. and open up that campaigner's curiosity for you to rise and shine and grab that Mustang moxie within you and ride to the oceans of opulence. But we've been taught and told to take away our trend-setting tenacity because we got to follow the paths of sheepleocracy, herdocracy, turdocracy, and titleocracy. Everybody says, I'm somebody important, I got a title. Usually they got that title because they were very, very much a people pleaser. They was a boss pleaser. And that's the way it is. But this world will rise when people open up to realize their inner dialogue is their daredevil, animated intuition, lionizing optimistic gumption. You are the wisdom, insight, and clarity to rise to your innovation when you start listening to the inner dialogue that flows up, and you can say no to it, and then you can also start putting your intuition and your inspiration and let that stream your sassy tenacity, realizing every day appreciation magically expanding through life. But it's really that inner dialogue before you even, when you begin your voyage of sovereign expansion and liberation, you want to really understand and rise out of that inner dialogue. You want to get that inner dialogue going with your inspiration, your dreams, your desired lifestyle, accomplished outcomes. You want that to flow up from here to you so you're expressing it to the world. And stop thinking, oh, I'm positive, I got to do this. Positive thinking stinks. Listening glistens. Your genuine literary intuition, streaming, enterprising, nomadic nirvana from you to the world. An inspired inner dialogue liberates the world. Positive thinking controls you and the world. And that is, the thing is it's your inner dialogue. You listen here. And, this is the way I did it. And it may not be for you, but it sure liberated me. Because I stopped being in the stink of my overthinking. And I want to thank you. I'm Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypnoacuity. Hypnoacuity is hypnotherapy, but it takes you out of the addiction and being controlled by therapy. I want to thank you and good night.